Hey guys, it's Marty Boots here from CryptoCheck. Check out our page on Facebook and please like and subscribe. We also have a new YouTube channel that we've been working on, and we're going to start pumping out some content in the near future. So check that out, and I'll put a link in the description. So today I just want to talk about the situation in Bitcoin and a very possible and likely outcome. Now, in my view, this is the big market maker and institutionals' plan. This is what I believe that they're doing, and this is what they do in all markets and in all time frames. So I just want to talk about that, and I want to talk about the manipulation in the market. There's a lot of people on YouTube and Twitter and everywhere else yesterday talking about the manipulation and that it's not fair and something needs to be done about it and all the rest. But there's no point in complaining about manipulation, because manipulation happens in all markets, be it Forex, be it stock market, stocks, commodities, in the crypto space. It happens everywhere. A good example of manipulation is when the financial crisis happened in 2009. The market bottomed in 2009, March 2009. The government started printing money, which is quantitative easing, and basically they've been printing money for years just to pump the stock market, and that is manipulation. Now it's the exact same as the market makers or whatever printing tether and pumping the market. It's the exact same. So you just need to be aware of it and understand it, and not complain about it, and try and trade along with them. And if you can figure out what the big guys are doing, you're on your way to making some profits. So anyway, with that being said, I just want to start here on the shorts chart. Now you can see the shorts have ran up and they're almost into all-time highs. To me, this looks like a natural uptrend. You can see the moving averages are just starting to take off here. There's nothing wrong with this price at the moment. It looks to me like it's going to consolidate a bit before breaking higher out to new all-time highs, and it'll probably retest and then bounce higher into the top of this channel. So I do feel there's a real potential to get up there into the top of the channel. So I don't know how long that'll take. Will that take 2 weeks, a month and a half, 2 months? It's hard to tell. So we just have to be patient on that happening, and I'll show you why. Now, back here on the 12th of April, the shorts had ran up massively to all-time highs, and basically the market makers pumped tether or money into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, I think it jumped 10 to 12% in one day, spiked the price of Bitcoin and caused this massive short squeeze, and cost all these positions to get liquidated. And all these traders lost money, and the market makers made money not only from the buying up Bitcoin down here in very cheap prices. Bitcoin ran up 50 to 70%. So from buying all this cheap Bitcoin, it ran higher, and they made loads of profit on Bitcoin, but they also made money liquidating these shorts. So it's a double-edged, it's a two-pronged factor, for making their profits. This is their bread and butter. This is what the market makers do. Again, in February, we had a similar scenario. The shorts ran up massively, and they got squeezed. They spiked the price of Bitcoin, and all the shorts got squeezed. And from these lows, basically in Bitcoin, the price in February ran up, I think it was 50 or 70% again, roughly. So you have to understand, guys, this is what happens. Manipulation happens all the time, and it's I'll nearly dare say it is normal, and you have to expect it. Now, there's no point complaining about it because it's happened since the beginning of time, and it probably will continue to happen. So, with all that being said about the shorts here, um, just think about that shorts chart when I bring you over here to the Bitcoin chart. Um, Again, I believe this is the big market maker and institutional plan. Now, we all know about this support at 6,000, 5,800, or whatever area. It's been support all year long. Now, we've touched it here, touched it here, touched it here, touched it here. Now, what does all the retail traders do? They buy down here on the lows and hope to get a big move higher. And they have all their stops. All these white bits here are just examples of stops. Stops everywhere, down here, all over the place. And what are these stops? These stops are liquidity for the institutions and market makers to buy into. Otherwise there would be no liquidity for the market makers to spike the shorts and to run the price up big and make lots of money. That is just what they do. So they use all these shorts to buy up cheap prices of Bitcoin as the little guy gets stopped out at a loss. So they intentionally run the price down just to take out these stops. This is common in trading, guys, and it happens on a 5-minute chart, on a 10-minute chart, on a 4-hour chart. They create these breakouts just to run stops, and then they might run the price higher again. So it's very common, but this is on a larger scale, and their mouths are probably watering right now at the potential of this. It's huge. They'll make billions, huge amounts of money. So anyway, if or when the price breaks down through the support and takes out all these stops, the shorts are going to go to new all-time highs, and the shorts are all going to be sitting there thinking they're going to make huge amounts of money. So this creates the perfect situation for the big guys, for the market makers and the institutions, to move the price higher. From cutting out the stops and buy it up and move the price higher, which is going to create a giant short covering rally or a short squeeze, and this will liquidate all the shorts, so the shorts lose money, and they've also already taken out the stops, so all the stops people have lost money. So that again, this is a two-pronged factor. The stops all get taken out, the market makers make money, and number two, the short squeeze causes the shorts to liquidate, and the shorts also lose money. And the third factor, Bitcoin, if it spikes up higher, the market makers have already bought the price down low and shot the market up. Then they'll take profits at a higher price. So there's three ways there, which is their bread and butter. It is their business. That's how they make money. So we need to be aware of this and try and trade with them. Everybody else loses money, as I wrote down here. The buying and the short squeeze equals a spike in prices, and everybody loses money except for the market makers. And unless we understand this and how market makers work, you're going to get killed in this market. So if we can understand this and trade with them, we have potential to make a lot of money. Now the part I didn't explain there was on a retest. This is a common trading strategy for all retail investors and maybe institutions at times. Now, on a retest, people like to short. So but all this shorting is going to create more liquidity in the market and going to cause an even bigger short squeeze. So it adds fuel to the fire. So when we see a retest, we need to be aware of this also, and potentially not going short but going long. Look, we got to read the price action, of course. Price action will determine everything, but it's good to talk through these strategies in advance, just to be prepared. And I'm not saying that the price is going to spike straight up to 8,000. That's not what I'm saying. This move higher would be a process. This is just an example to explain. So anyway, guys, that is one option that I think everybody needs to be aware of a potential outcome on Bitcoin. Something is going to happen soon. We are kind of nearing that time. Now, at the moment, there is a potential for a little bit of a move higher. I feel anyway, at the moment, but time will tell. So anyway, okay, with talking about all that, this is a worst case scenario that I've seen, on YouTube or Twitter or somewhere. I don't know where I've seen it, but the silver chart has got a big resemblance to Bitcoin. You can see here the topping period after the big bull run up, this topping period, and we've had like 3 touches also at the moment, same as Bitcoin. We've had the lower highs, and price eventually rolling over. So it's eerily similar to Bitcoin. If this situation happens, my last scenario didn't happen. But the fact is, I don't think the silver shorts would have been as high when it was here. I don't know that. I need to check that out. But I don't feel the silver shorts would have been the same. Otherwise, the shorts would have made all this money. And I don't think the Bitcoin market is going to let that happen. The market makers will let that happen. They'll lose too much money. So I don't feel it'll be as clean cut as this. Again, you can see price fell into support down here, and we've had 3 peaks again, and it rolled over, and we haven't recovered. The initial breakdown was in April 2013. Almost 5 years later, the price still hasn't recovered, and to me, silver looks really weak and headed back to $10, $12 anyway. Maybe worst case it could be under $10. It looks so weak right now. So I'm just really hoping that this is not the case with Bitcoin. Last thing I want to talk about. This is quite important as well. Now, we'll start here on February, the February short squeeze. So the February short squeeze was at the bottom of the market in February when the shorts obviously got squeezed. From that initial short squeeze, the market still ran up 1 to 2 months. If the short squeeze happens, that's not the move over. If we see a short squeeze, we will be looking to get on the back of it and riding that market up. As you can see, there's another month or 2 of profits after the short squeeze. So that's very important. Again, on the 12th of April, if we bring that down, this candle here, that was the short squeeze day when Bitcoin jumped 12%. But again, that wasn't the move over. There were still profits for another month, or 3 weeks or a month. I forget exactly what it was. But altcoins had ran up 100%, and same here in February, they ran up 100% or whatever. I'm just throwing out numbers here, but roughly 100%. So we will definitely be looking to capitalize on that move when the short squeeze does come, and I believe it's going to send everything higher. So we need to be prepared and jump on the back of that and make a lot of money. Potentially, bet big. and make a lot of money. It's times like this when these opportunities happen. You can see there's only been 2 opportunities this year. Well, that was last year actually. So there's been 2 opportunities this year. We've had a small one here, but these opportunities only come around 2 or 3 times a year, and you need to be in them, and you need to be in big, and this is when you make your money. You know, the rest of the trading all year, you make do, and you make a few thousand here and a few thousand there, or whatever, 10,000 here, 5,000 there, or smaller or bigger, whatever type of investor you are. But these are when you make the bulk of your money for the year on moves like this. So we need to be on guard and be prepared for it. So that brings us to this scenario here with the shorts. We need to keep a close eye on this and the price of Bitcoin. Now, hopefully, Bitcoin can drop to new lows, and this goes up into this channel where we will be ready to pounce on Bitcoin and altcoins to make some huge profits. So anyway, guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Check out our page on Facebook. Check out our crypto page. Check out our Crypto Check page on Facebook, and check out our YouTube channel that I'll post a link in the description. So thanks for watching, guys.